Today we continue to listen Samudaya Sacca, the truth of the origin
Recording in progress.
of suffering. There are four noble truths: the truth of suffering, the truth of the origin of suffering, the truth of the cessation of suffering, and the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. It is most essential to know these four truths. Only with the understanding of the truth of suffering, suffering may be avoided. So the cause of suffering must be known also. Again, in order to achieve cessation of suffering, there must be knowledge of what constitutes real cessation of suffering. Finally, the extinction of suffering cannot be brought about without knowledge of the practical way of accomplishing it. So knowledge of the four truths is essential. So in the Samudaya Sacca, Yayan Tanna Pono Bhavika Nandi Raga Sagata Tatra Tatra Binandini. It is craving which gives rise to fresh rebirth and is bound up with lust and greed, now here, now there, ever finds pleasure here, there, in every existence, in every sense object. So last week we listened the story of Queen Upri. Today we continue to finish the story. Queen Upri was the chief queen of King Sacca, who was ruled over the country of Kasi as its capital Patali. Queen Upri was said to be of great beauty. She was much adored by the monarch, while still in the prime of her beauty and charm. Queen Upri passed away. When a person dies, that person have to be reborn in an existence as conditioned by karma, the previous volitional activities. And the king Sacca wanted to know where Queen Upri was reborn. So one day he met our Bodhisattva, the hermit, and he asked where Queen Upri was reborn. And the hermit Bodhisattva replied, "O great king, your Queen Upri took delight in her beauteous appearance and was very vain about it. She has spent her time engaged only in beautifying herself to make herself more luringly attractive. She forgot all the while to perform meritorious deeds, to give alms and observe moral precepts. She forgot to perform dana, sila, etc. As a result, Queen Ubri has passed over a lowly existence. She is presently reborn as a female countdown beetle in this very garden. The hermit Bodhisattva told the whole story very frankly. You understand the law of karma, person, favored by fortune, enjoying privilege of wealth, family, education, rank, physical beauty, etc., are prone to exhibit arrogance in their dealing with others. Shrouded in their own vanity and self-esteem, they become neglectful in their performance of meritorious deeds. They have no humility. And Buddha had taught in the Chulagama Vibhinga Sutta that such vain, glorious, haughty persons are liable to land up in lowly, inferior rebirths. On the other hand, humble person who show humility and pay reverential respect to those deserving of homage will be reborn in noble families. In this story, Queen Ubri was extremely beautiful, and she was the chief queen of the ruling monarch. Then she was of very high status in her life. Then she had her head turned by these excellent qualities and looked down with contempt on those who should have shown her respects. For such unwholesome attitudes and action, it may be presumed Queen Ubri was reborn a lowly female countdown beetle. On hearing this account of the rebirth of his beloved Queen Ubri, King Sacca promptly rejected these words. He said that he don't believe it. True, for those people who do not quite believe in the laws of karma and its resultant effect, who do not understand the principle of conditionality or causal relationship, as explained in Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination, it would be difficult to accept that a being of the human world should have gone down so low as to become a mere beetle. According to the teachings of the Buddha, for so long as person has not yet attained the status of Arya Noble One, he can descend from the human world or celestial realms into the four lower states. conditioned by bad karma and the mental state just before death, rebirth may take place in the lower order of beings. On the other hand, conditioned by good karma and wholesome mental attitude on the threshold of death, ascent may be made from an inferior sphere of existence into the higher realms of humans and celestial beings. However, King Asaka, not having heard of such discourses, could not accept that his queen Upri had become a female beetle. Accordingly, King Asaka refused to believe it. Then the hermit Bodhisattva proposed that he would make the female beetle talk. The king accepted his proposal. Thereupon the hermit Bodhisattva made the vow using his supernatural powers, Abhinya, to have the conversation between him and the female beetle, comprehensible to the king Asaka and his audience. And the hermit Bodhisattva asks, "Who are you in your past life?" The hermit asks the beetle, and the female beetle answers, "I was the chief queen Upri of King Asaka." Female beetle, what now? Do you still love King Asaka, or do you love only this countdown beetle? The hermit asked. To which the female beetle gave the reply, "True, King Asaka was my husband in my past life. At that time, I used to roam about in this garden, enjoying sensual pleasures. In the company of King Asaka, we enjoy all entertainments. We enjoy the five sense pleasures of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. But now that I am in the new existence, I have nothing to do with King Asaka, previous my husband. And the commentarial version of the female beetle's reply is as follows. In my present existence, I could relish killing King Asaka and with the blood from his throat, wash the feet of the countdown beetle, who is my present beloved husband. The commentarial exposition makes the beetle's reply sound very harsh and unfeeling. But as she was talking in the presence of her dear husband, the male beetle, it is natural that she wanted to please him. We can easily see in everyday life many conspicuous examples of estrangement between ex-husbands and wives who get separated not through death, but in this very life on grounds of incompatibility. An example of loving tenderness heaped on their new partners in their life. The remarks in the commentary appears to be quite in order. The Jataka Pali text described the female Buddha's reply in this way. Reverend Sir, I, who had loved King Aska, had roamed about in this garden many a time, together with King Asaka, who had loved me and who was my beloved husband then, enjoying each other's company. But now, the joys and trouble of the present new life have obscured, cover up the joys and trouble of the old life. The new joys and troubles has transcended the old joys and troubles. I love my present husband, the Mekongdam beetle, more than did King Asaka, previous husband. The commentary exposition of the words love more than Piyataro makes interesting. It says love more than means love 100 times more, love 1,000 times more, indicating the intensity of love, degree of love in favor of the new husband. King Aska was greatly distressed to hear the harsh, unfeeling words of estrangement from the lips of the female beadle. He thought to himself, I loved and adored her so much, I could not make myself to throw away her dead body. Yet, she had become so antipathetic and nasty to me. King Aska thought to himself. So the king felt so disgusted with his old queen, Upari, that he ordered, even while sitting there, go and have take the body of the Queen Upari removed. Then, having bathed and washed himself, and the king went back to the palace. He made another court lady his chief queen and carried on ruling over his country wisely. Now the hermit Bodhisattva, after giving good advice to the Queen Aska, went back to the Himalayan sanctuary. The moral from this story of Upari is that Queen Upari, while in the human world, had taken delight in being a human person, a queen at that. She would never have even dreamt of being reborn a female beetle. But in accordance with her past karma, when she was reborn a female beetle, she at once took to the life and delight in the physical body of a beetle. She esteemed and adored the physical body of the female beetle 100 times, 1,000 times more than that of King Asaka. That she felt quite at home in her lowly existence as a Kaundam beetle is due to Tanna, craving. The cause of craving, which finds delight everywhere. That is why Buddha said, Tatra Tatra Binandini. Tanna, craving, has the tendency to delight wherever it finds reward. Reborn as a dog, it takes delight in a dog's existence. Reborn as a pig, it takes delight in the pig's existence. Reborn as a fowl, it takes delight in the fowl existence. There is always delight in each existence. Even having been born as children of affluent parents of upper social class, there are cases of them sinking down to poverty-stricken existences, yet enjoying their lives therein. Some of them even resisted the efforts of their parents to take them back into the fold of the family, since they are finding their new life quite enjoyable. It is Dhanna again, which is giving them pleasure wherever they are, delighting in whatever sense object presents itself. Since Dhanna, craving, has the nature of delighting and clinging, a being finds delight in whatever existence it is born into and enjoys any sense object that presents itself. Because it finds its existence so delightful and pleasurable, there comes the wish for this existence to remain everlasting, to remain stable and pleasurable objects to be endurable and lasting. So he put effort in endeavoring to maintain them as he wished. Volitional activities come into play. Bhava Picaya Jati, dependent on Bhava, Kama Bhava, Jati, new existence arises. So these karma or volitional activities, which may be wholesome or unwholesome, are the cause of rebirths of new existences. When we are about to die, what happens? When a person is about to die, one or the other of these meritorious or demeritorious karma may present itself before his mind's eyes. Karma may appear, or it may be karma nimitta, the signs of karma, which is any sight, sounds, smell, taste, touch, or idea, which had obtained at the time of the commission of that karma. So karma, karma nimitta, and then gati nimitta, signs of destiny. That is a sign of the next existence, where he is destined to open his new life in consequence of that karma, good karma or bad karma. So the karma, karma nimitta or gati nimitta, presents itself to the dying person. The karma, karma nimitta or gati nimitta, which presents itself to the dying person, is tenaciously grasped at because of tanha, craving. So that karma or karma nimitta or gati nimitta cannot be dispelled from his mind when he is about to die. Just like the shadow of a mountain thrown by the evening sun falls on the surface of the land and covering it, so also these sense objects of karma, karma nimitta, signs of karma, or gati nimitta, signs of destiny, which present themselves at the sense door, completely occupy his mind of the dying person. These sense objects are tenaciously held by the Maranasana Javana, otherwise called Abhisankhara Vijnana. So you need to remember these Pali words. Maranasana Javana, death approximates Javana consciousness. Abhisankhara Vijnana, consciousness that conditions new becoming. We will use these Pali words, Maranasana Javana, that approximates Javana consciousness, Abhisankhara Vijnana, consciousness that condition new becoming. You need to remember. In Gotara Pali Canon said, Kamang Kitan, Vinyanam Bijan, Tana Sineho. So for the appearance of Patisande Vijnana, relinking consciousness of new becoming, Kamang Kitan, meritorious karma or demeritorious karma serves as a field in which it may grow. Vinyanam Bijam, Abhisankhara Vijnana, consciousness that condition new becoming serves as the seed for the growth of Padisande Vijnana, relinquishing consciousness. Tanna Sineho. Tanna, craving, which delights in every sense object, in every existence, may be likened to moistures or water elements, which promotes its growth. Here, Abhisankara Vijnana, that condition new becoming, is according to the commentary, consciousness accompanying the volitional karma, Chetana. In the same way, it arises together with the first volitional karma, so also it accompanies the later karma activities, and as such, consciousness which appears later should also be designated Abhisankara Vijnana. Particularly Maranasana Javana consciousness, which takes as its object karma, karma nimitta, and gati nimitta, should be called Abhisankara Vijnana. Why? Because it is from this Maranasana Javana consciousness, from this death proximates Javana consciousness, that Padisande Vijnana, relinquishing consciousness in the new life, arises. In addition, in the same way, a seed germinates only when it comes into contact with water elements, moistures, the seed of consciousness, receiving support and encouragement by tanna craving, which accompanies it in close proximity, tenaciously holds onto karma, karma nimitta or gati nimitta as its objects, and give rise to Padisandhi Vijnana, relinquishing consciousness. Then immediately after the dissolution of the death moment, aggregates of Rupa and Nama, when they are after their dissolution, Padisandhi Vijnana, relinquishing consciousness, arises. Holding on to the karma, karma nimitta or gati nimitta as its object, at a new site in a new existence, complete with its physical base upon which it depends. With each consciousness arise, also its mental concomitant, the relinquishing consciousness is followed by Bhuvinga consciousness, life continuum, which goes on continuously throughout life as prescribed by one's own karmic energy. The arising of new existence is brought about by two factors: his own karma, his own good karma or bad karma, and tanna. Two factors. for the arising of new existence. Without tanha, without craving, karma by itself cannot bring about new becoming. So for an arahant, what are the results? For an arahant, his past meritorious deeds will come to good fruition before his death, pre-nibbana. Arahant civilly, for arahant civilly, multifarious gifts gained by that arahant civilly, arahant bagula, thera, perfect health enjoyed by Venerable Arahant Bagula are example of good fruition of the Arahants. An Arahant demeritorious deeds. The demeritorious deeds of Arahant we bear bad fruits as, for instance, lack of alms food for Venerable Losaka Tesa, for Venerable Mahamoggallana. He had to meet the fate met by Venerable Moggallana, who was beaten to death by bad peoples. However, these karmas do not have any more potentialities for causing fresh rebirth, as they are devoid of tanha craving. Lacking the support and encouragement of tanha at the time of maranasana, death approximates consciousness, the abhisankara vijnana, consciousness that condition new becoming, cannot arise. So, no rebirth for them. For this reason, only tanha is attributed. Tanha is responsible to be the cause of fresh existence. Buddha said, Yayan tanha pono bhavika. So tanha forms the root cause of fresh becoming. For this reason, Buddha had pinpointed tanha craving to be the cause of new existence, pono bhavika. So these are the words which the Buddha has used in the very first discourse, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, to teach the existence of afterlife. In spite of this clear teaching of the Buddha, there are people who maintain that the Blessed One taught only about the present existence. Buddha did not touch on future life, they said. These people were attempting to associate the Buddha teaching with Ocheda Wada, the theory of annihilism, a very misguided effort. However, in reality, as tanha craving endures, through failure to develop the Eightfold Path, or even if developing the Eightfold Path, fully advanced in accomplishment, not being fully advanced in accomplishment, so long this dana will continue to serve as the cause for fresh existence. When the Eightfold Path has been fully accomplished and Arhata Path and fruition attained, Tanna will be completely eradicated and there will be no more rebirth. So when exercising retrospection, Pichavakana, on attainment of enlightenment as a Buddha or an Arahant, the thoughts always occurs to the noble ones. Ayam mantima jati, nati dani puna bhavati. This is the last existence. There is no more rebirth. This reflection is also included in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Such reflection make it obvious that unless Tanna is completely rooted out, continuous fresh existence, new becomings are inevitable. How this Tanna brings on repeated rebirth will now be illustrated by a few stories. There are thousands of stories illustrating this fact, but we will tell you the story about the Pali commentaries and some story from the modern period. One story is Sukrapotika story from Tannavega Dhammavada. We continue next week. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, may you all yogi understand the truth of suffering, dukkha sacca. May you all yogis eradicate Samudaya sacca, the truth of the origin of suffering. May all yogis realize Nirodha sacca, the truth of the cessation of suffering. May you develop Magga sacca, the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. May you all liberated from suffering. May you realize the real peace in the very near future. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So sitting meditation for a few minutes.